We talked a little bit last week about the union of why it's Parshas Stume by Yigash, because Misas of Yankiv caused the Golas to, this my name Sheisah, because of the Golas. But we really didn't discuss it because we just finished off that to think about it. The union of, obviously, the Golas didn't start until Levi dies. That's many years later, when Levi dies. He called it, and right now it says, like you said, it says Vayechi-Chazak. Yaakov's alive, well, everything is good. Now, if he wanted to start at a pasuk later, would have been fine. Now, what the Seder would have ended, instead of ending it would have answered the Vayechi-Chazak Shnei Chayav, meaning that he's dying. So, okay, so then we can understand that we're talking about the death of Yaakov. So I wanted to tie in and something to think about. That the idea that it caused it was because Yaakov was alive. That's what caused the Golas to start. Why they start? Now, they came into a country, where you have the Parshas ends off with Yosef buying all the Mitzrayim and all the land of Mitzrayim for Parei. Parei owns everything now. That means there are no stores, there are no businesses, there's no business, there's no middle class at all. They maybe didn't have before either. But now for sure you don't have a middle class because they don't work for themselves anymore. So there's nothing for them to make money on. So the whole middle class is gone. So what left is only for the Yidden that came in, it's an open country. They can do whatever they want. They can open up their stores, they can open up their stores. There is nothing in competition to them. And coming to a foreign country, obviously we said, yeah, you're right, that he sent Yehuda was a little too late, with not enough. In other words, obviously he didn't produce the yeshiva he wanted to produce because either the guys were not too enthused about going or wasn't given that thing. People were too involved with Parnasa. Whatever reason to come again, you don't want to be, a burden to Yosef. Yosef, they don't really know how he's going to treat them. And whatever it is, so they come again with the point of being self-reliant, and that's what they did. They became very successful. And because they became very successful while Yaakov is still there, so therefore the hashkafa was not Yaakov's already. Now, if you would ask Yaakov, what should you do? Go into business or sit and learn? He would have told you sit and learn. What he went into business for, right? But then we didn't ask. We did it. And it was done, and the guns find about the bottom. Hashem, I mean, they were interested in Klal Yisrael and stuff like that. But the idea was that they didn't feel the obligation to follow what Yaakov wanted anymore. And yet they felt comfortable in doing it in front of Yaakov. That's the part that I saw it, what can I tell you, in the east side. You told me the east side was different. At that time, you had a lot of the Freie living there, the what he called the liberals, the communists, the socialists. They were all on the east side. You can tell me, Eino Chinami. But they saw the east side had a chaos that Reform and conservatives never was able to take hold there. And there was, so whatever was a firm neighborhood. But most of the people were Machal Shabbos. The thing of the early minyan was for the Machal Shabbos. Why they do it? No, it's if they wouldn't have come into shul, right? Let's say we were Machal Shabbos and gone straight to work from getting up. I don't know how many people would have been Machal Shabbos. No, they're embarrassed. They got to go to shul. They got to see the rabbi. You got to see my neighbors, my uncle is there, my this and that. But we know, for Kelt, we made a minyan. And we davened, we did everything right. And after the dark, the reason we're davening early, because we got to get to work by 9 o'clock. So that already made it, that was the heter, that the shul gave them the heter to do that. I think it wasn't really heter, I doubt it. I guess they were just as members as anybody else was. So I'm saying, so whatever it was, or whatever it is, the shul, they were battling, not knowing what they're battling, but I can't answer that. But I saw that there was no busha of Chil Shabbos. No, there definitely wasn't, because we come to shul and then we go to work. So there's no busha. There's no busha. There's no, what do you call it? There's nothing to stop them. And that's the point I think that we saw. And the Maila maybe could be, I mean, I don't know this to say for sure, but when I was a kid, there was only one or two, there was probably television, Baltimore was already made then, so yeah, the 2 out-of-town yeshivas, if you want to put it down. Now you got 20 or 50, or I don't know how many you got now. Now the reason for it is that when you come home, you're involved like anybody else. In other words, I'm in yeshiva, then I come home at 6 o'clock and I'm finished with yeshiva. So whatever is taking place in the world, that's what I'm doing. In yeshiva, you didn't do that. You're busy the whole time in yeshiva. So whatever it is, from there it went into the in-time yeshivas. The in-time yeshivas went into the day schools, and you have day schools that are up to par now of yeshivas. And this time you have certain ones that are not, but you do have a lot that are, because whatever, we have to get into that school. We have to be in competition with that school. So it made a push. And I think that's what was that Ya'akov was dying. I mean, he was alive, and because he was alive, and they did what they did anyway, in front of him, in front of the Shvat, in front of the things, and there was no busha, that automatically brought the Golos close. Anyway, he brings, Yosef comes to visit him, and he tells Yosef that I want you to bury me in Canaan, and the Mouth of Machpelah. He said, we still don't know what the real translation is over there. But anyway, that he's in the Mouth of Machpelah, because he's going to mix it up again when it says by him. I'm making you swear so that you have an argument with Pari. In other words, not that he distrusted Yosef, that he made him swear. He made him swear so he would have a good argument with Pari. I can't help myself. I got to take my father up, because Pari is going to oppose it. So if he's going to oppose it, you have to have some kind of strong argument that you have to go and bury him in the Canaan. I'm forced to do it. I'm going to have a shvua. I couldn't help myself. My father made me swear. So therefore, there's an excuse. Okay. I think that's what he did it for. Then it says, they finally call Yosef that Yaakov is dying. So he takes with his 2 sons with him, Menashe and Ephraim, because to him, Menashe is before Ephraim. So his 2 sons are Menashe and Ephraim. On the other hand, it's a very interesting thing. The Torah makes an issue that when he made the brachas, in Simcha Elokim Ephraim and Menashe, he put Ephraim before Menashe. He did it before. He does it before Sheni. He comes to him and he says to him, Atu shnei banecha meidod l'cho be'eretz Mitzrayim abilecha Mitzrayim alihem Ephraim and Menashe ki Reuven v'Shimon v'Yoli. Ephraim and I didn't say Menashe and Ephraim like this, but that was no reason. That was not a raya. He was magdem him. He was learning with Ephraim every day. Now with Ephraim he saw every day. Menashe, I don't know when he saw him. So obviously the one that stays in his mind is Ephraim. So therefore, when he's talking about the kids, and it could be even when you're talking about your own kids, you're talking about the one you have more shaykhs with, you mention him first, not because he's more choshev to me, or he's older than me, or whatever it is, than my elders, but simply because I'm more used to him. So therefore, that one doesn't even count to say that he put Efraim before Menashe. Okay, the reason he did, but why did they belong to him? Now, as he said, if he would have any more children, they'd have to be called Hashem Efraim Menashe. They really had no other children. So, in reality, the whole thing is unnecessary. With why the Torah bothered telling it to us. I guess it was to tell you responsibility and shaykhs. What he's trying to tell you is the fact that you were able to raise Efraim Menashe in Mitzrayim was only due to the chinuch I gave you in Canaan. And therefore they belong to me, these kids, because they have nothing to do with you. And stuff like that. You followed my orders in this life. Anybody born later, that means after the Shvatim came down and everything else, so then it's not because of your chinuch, which came from me. It's just because the area happens to be from. So the kids are from. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. If that's the case, then they can't take credit for them. So that's the point. So therefore, it's only Efraim Menashe I can take care of credit for. Okay, and then he sees Bnei Yosef, and all of a sudden he conks out. He can't give them the bracha that he wants to give them, and that's because the Rishonim were in there. I don't know exactly why Rashi mentions Yehu by Menashe, because I guess he didn't have any other bad people by Menashe. So therefore he puts down Yehu. But basically Yehu was a good guy as far as the thing. He definitely wasn't a bad person. Not in the league of Achov or Yeravim or something like that. So exactly what it means, I don't know. But anyway, he saw that they didn't. Now, again, why not? So he tells you, Rashi says he showed him the shtar ksubah. Didn't show him the shtar kedushin. Now he showed him the shtar ksubah. What's the shtar ksubah? The shtar ksubah has the wife's name in it. The shtar kedushin doesn't have wife's name in it. All it says, Harayat mikudeshes li b'shtar zeh. It doesn't say who you are. It doesn't say who I am. It doesn't say the two witnesses that saw the act. They'll testify. But basically, there's no kedushin. There's no name in it. But in ksubah, that's a ksubah is a legal document to collect money with. So there you have to say who's the guy who's going to get the money, who's the guy you're going to get the money from. So therefore, it says clear who it is. So there he sees that it says over there, what do you call it? Osnas paspet lifara. Okay, that's what he says there. Now, I don't know how many Osnases existed in the world at that time, but he named his grandchild Osnas. And this is Dina's daughter, supposedly. This is all Medoshim, so something that was Dina's daughter. So therefore, now when he saw that it's one of us. It's not that the Chivi has entered into Klal Yisrael. That's what he's Choshev. In other words, there's something here that's wrong. So he said originally, why does Avram Avinu did not want the Chivi to enter Klal Yisrael? Where do we see that? Because the Medrash says he kept out Timnah from Klal Yisrael, and so did Yitzchak keep out Timnah from Klal Yisrael. So therefore, if you kept them out, you don't want the Chivi. What is the Chivi's problem? The Chivi's problem was they were actors, and actors are people who don't know themselves. In other words, they don't know who they're at there because they're always playing a different role. So they don't have any idea who they truly are either. And therefore, you have enough trouble as it is. On the other hand, the Rebbeinu obviously made them come into Klal Yisrael through Shem, through Dina, or Osnas, if you want to put it that way. So it would become that there was a point in Golus that you need the acting. You need that piece. Now we'll say the Weeding took over the Chivi's job altogether. I don't know. You see, Hollywood is fucked. The Jews run Hollywood, and you have a bunch of Goyim. Yeah, but most of them are Jews. So the Jews the pshat is that they took this whole concept of make-believe and all that and stuff like that, and made a life out of it. And that's because in Golos, you have to pretend to be somebody else. You have to pretend we get along, that we're interested in the same thing the guy's interested in order we do business together and stuff like that. And I have to put on a good act. A lot of times we fall to our own act. We become what we're acting about. That's true. But my say is, people can keep themselves separate if they keep themselves in the right, proper attitude. And that's what he says. So once he saw that it's through usness and that they came, so then he understands it's a Klal Yisrael problem now. It's not wasn't before, it's a Chivi problem. Who brought this into Klal Yisrael? But now that he saw it was his own daughter, his own granddaughter, so therefore there's nothing he can do about it. So he accepted it, and therefore he was able to say, give me a bracha. Now, exactly where the hands come into a bracha, even though I see everybody blesses their kids with their hands on the heads, I don't think my father ever did that to me. I'm not sure. Maybe once, if ever. But I don't really believe it. Give me a bracha. But I don't, but you see, everyone goes over, you watch the kids on Friday night, you put their heads like this before the Baba even sometimes. The Baba, takes over for the Zayd if the Zayd is not there anymore. So then the Baba becomes the blesser. And whatever it is, and they do this, and then he goes to the next one, and stuff like that.
Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe Rabbeinu did it to Yeshua.
No, he didn't. That was the point. Moshe Rabbeinu did Fashreis Hashchina. He did, I want you to put Vayechi-Chazak Olav. I had to give him something for me, so somehow you have a personal maybe touch about brachas. What's it got to do with the hands? Anything though. But anyway, obviously he did it, and he wanted the bigger channel to go into not Ephraim, because Ephraim's going to be Yeshua, and Yeshua, I can't say because he was a greater person. That was why he was necessary, as opposed to Gideon. That I don't know. I'm not measuring the bigness of him. I assume he is, because he was given the task of capturing Eretz Yisrael. But the idea is that Eretz Yisrael, the Am, is going to start with Yeshua. So he has to have a very strong backing, or whatever it is there. On the other hand, Gideon was probably the most beloved Shafet there was. In Tanakh you find that he was the only one offered the Malchus for himself and his children for all time. And that's, Yehud is supposed to be the Melech. I don't know exactly what's pshat over there, but Klal Yisrael offered it to Gideon, not to Yehuda. So what's pshat that? I don't know. But so he was a beloved character, if you want to call it, because he was a Ronof. He never considered himself anything special. I can't answer. On the other hand, this Anova came because that gives his original background. He was an Eved Avodah Zarah. He was a kid. Okay. Anyway, so he puts them. Now, the poor Menashe, you can say that I think when Yosef saw him put his hands on, he didn't have a havamina. He meant to put his hand on Ephraim's head. He thought that probably if Yosef would have brought Menashe on his right hand and Ephraim on his left hand, which would be just the opposite by him, and therefore if he wants to put his right hand on Menashe's head, he has to go like this, right? So he prepared it for him. So it ended up that Menashe was on the left of Yosef and on the left of Yaakov. He had two lefts. And it said like that. I don't know if that means anything, but I'm just saying that. But that was the reason why he thought that Yaakov was making an error, not that he was doing it on purpose. If he thought he was doing it on purpose, I don't know if he would have mishtarain. He said he would have mishtarain, But if he did, Vivaldi thinks he's making an error, so he's trying to tell him. On the other hand, by his trying to remove Yaakov's hand, I think he alerted Menashe to what's going on. I mean, like this, Menashe wouldn't have known anything. Would you really know the difference between the pinky and the thumb? When it's slightly put on your head, I don't know. To say that he would not know he's the right thing. But they're bending down. They're not looking to see what's happening. But here's Yosef is talking to his father, and he's pulling his hand, whatever it is there, so he feels something's going on over here, So automatically he feels bad. So here's Yaakov's answer back. I mean, that what, I know, and but he's going to be bigger, that's going to hurt him, right? So on that I think there's the reason that Menashe's kids love the land. You don't really find, it says Yosef loved the land and his children loved the land. Where do you find it? By the Bnei Slavchot. By Bnei Slavchot, they demanded a chelik in the land. So therefore, you see that he loved Avos Oretz. No, it wasn't because they needed a couple of bucks. It was Avos Oretz. Why would I say that? Maybe it's because they needed money. I guess Slavchot maybe had some money, so they divided the girls, so divided his money. Whatever, he went out of Mitzrayim, he was a rich man. So he didn't have any land. They'll marry somebody, so they'll have land. What's their problem? I mean, they have to have their own land. All of us, they needed it because of Avos Oretz. I want a piece of land. So why would they have Avos Oretz? Maybe more than Ephraim's kids. Because you're Ephraim, you don't find it. You just know by Menashe you find it. So I said it could be, but this reason was for this thing. Yosef had to be Menashe afterwards. So Menashe probably felt bad. So he has to tell him, you heard Zaidi, but he knows he's talking about Klal Yisrael, and our job is to be the ones who take care of Klal Yisrael. So I gave it that they sold me, but in the end I realized it's to support them. So therefore, that's why I'm living. You should leave. But the most important thing is to support Klal Yisrael. So if Yeshua is going to be the guy, so we have to be behind Yeshua, whatever it is there, even though it's a young kid. Okay. And the Malach HaGoel he gave them as a bracha before. That it's a bracha to Yosef. Vayvorach is Yosef, Vayemel, Mr. Right. It doesn't say the names there, just as Hanorim Ha'eva, these children. So in other words, so the idea is to know that was a bracha to Yosef. That was the bracha. After that, the brachas go to Efraim and Menashe. Even though, again, the only ones you have is the two major brachas. You have this one Yaakov's bracha, which is to Yosef, that's directly to Yosef, and he ends off with it, and Moshe. And Moshe is me'ain, the bracha of Yosef, and again he starts it with, he uses tremendous, a lot of psukim to him. Shlishi, the whole Shlishi there, remember? Let's see. Yosef Amam B'Horas Shamatzei, but he ends off with Hail Milvos Efraim and Ralph and Menashe. So until then, the whole bracha is to Yosef. Yosef is first the guy who is the head of the Shevet. It's really the Shevet of Yosef that's broken into two. But Levi is not counted, and Yosef is not counted. That's why you have 12. Right? But Nemesim we have 13, because Shevet Levi is also there. And Levi. Now, by the Masois, How did he call him? Let's see. We made it in Bamidbar, maybe. Of course. It's right here we go. Okay. Yes, how do you count them? It's right. Doesn't mention Yosef. Efrim, right? By the second time he counts Klal Yisrael. He's not counting Klal Yisrael. He reads the Nasois. Counting Klal Yisrael, he counted Yosef, Efrim, Tolesh, Mishpach. That's how he counted them. And later on, we're going to see in Pinchas, he counts him Fakert Yosef. Who is it? Who's the top man? Menashe. That's his thing though. Menashe, he counts Yosef, Menashe, Efrim. So Menashe, so now with Efrim is not always held top over Menashe. He has the keach, or he has keach to channel it for whatever it is there for needs that it has. But, or you can learn pshat that the Godel, Efraim, Yeshua Keneged Gidden was the thing, but the Hamoin Am could have been bigger, Menashe than Efraim. The thing though, it has not that thing there. And to understand the bracha, Simcha Lakim Kefraim V'Chem. You know, that's a very funny bracha in a way. You should be like number one and like number two. That doesn't make any sense. When you're like number one, number two. Why don't you just tell me being like number one? You know. So you can learn different ways. You can learn one simply that you want the kishrin of Ephraim, but the what do you call it? The equilibrium, I guess, of Menashe. In other words, what is Ephraim? Ephraim goes from Yeshua, is way up there, to Reuven is way down there. Right? There's a big expense. Right? Of Menashe, you have Gidden, and who's the other one? Yehu. How far are they apart? Not too far apart. So I'd rather you have the keches of Ephraim to be up there, but the fall, you can't fall more than here. That would be a very good bracha. In other words, that you keep you in a very small area. I don't know if that's pshat or not. The normal pshat probably is the only two that had to be brought up in Golus, away from the rest of Klal Yisrael, was Ephraim and Menashe. And they still reach their potential. So we're talking about every Yiddish kind. We don't know what your potential is, but you can get your potential here in Golus. Everything is like Ephraim and Menashe got it. And each one is a different type of potential, but that one has nothing to do with the other. Okay, so that's the point of Ephraim and Menashe.
According to the first pshat.
I'm sorry?
According to the first pshat, why by a bracha would you say somebody's downfall?
Why would you
mention the chesaron that when you fall, you shouldn't fall so low by a bracha? By a bracha, usually you say the ma'ila, not the chesaron, that you shouldn't fall so low.
Oh, you mean why mention the chesaron? I don't know if that's a chesaron. If I tell you this Paradise Island, wherever it is, okay, it's supposed to be in the Caribbean somewhere near the Bahamas. Okay, it never falls below 60, and it never gets hotter than 80. What would you say that? It's Paradise Island, right? Okay, it's never cold and it's never hot. It's Pasha, just beautiful. Okay, so I'm telling you, you can't mess up too bad. That's a pretty good bracha. I mean, I didn't think so anyway. Okay, then he came down to give them a bracha at the end. And as the other place he puts it even by the Nesim. By the Nesim also, Parshas Maseh, he counts the Efraim before, Menash before Efraim. Now, how does he put the words over there? Does he say him? Mati b'nei Dan, Evi Shmos Anosh Mati Yehuda Kavim for the Mati b'nei Shimon, Mati b'nei Yemen, Elida Mati b'nei Dan, Mati b'nei Efraim Nasi, Mati b'nei Yosef, Mati b'nei Menashe Nasi Chaniyah b'nei Ephod, Mati b'nei Efraim Nasi Shmuel ben Shofet. So obviously he puts him first also over there, the Nasi, not only the thing. So you see, so even big people it's that way, but Yeshua Keneged Yidden, whatever that means, I have no idea. Then he called him in, he wanted to tell Machas Hayamim, and will we do better with it, knowing it or not knowing it, that I don't know. And we have enough Shemim Gemaras that try to figure out, and they don't know what they're talking about, so why should we be any better? I mean, there's an reminder to know. I don't know, I was thinking about, like on one hand, maybe you have a more mechutzik, like, I'm going anyway, it's the end, I don't have to work on myself too much, I don't know. Talking about now, we're talking about Mashiach, we're talking about, what do you call it? So, we're feeling that like it's the end. Are we fixing ourselves up? I don't know. Does anyone, maybe for a couple of days we say Tillim good, and after that it becomes like anything else, you babble it through and something like that, because it's every day, it's every tefillah, every something, instead of feeling, there's danger out there, there's what he called. I don't know. But anyway, he wanted to tell it to them. And in the end, the Ben Shem made him forget. So he didn't remember to tell it to them. So what was his tachlis? In other words, you should know, there's an end to the tzoros, there's an end to the thing. There's hope. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, he tells them, and he's going to tell them his kids, he's going to give them brachas. So, Reuven says the first three he seems to give a hard time. Reuven b'cheriyata, yomai b'cher, keichi v'reishasayni, you're my first keach, and you're also the first zera I ever had. And the thing there. Yes, it says, yes, it and you should have had more stuff than any other bodies, because you're the Bechor, and you're the first. You should have had the Kohane, you should have Malchus. But Pachas Kamayim al Teicha, say so, because you're Pachas Kamayim, you're a guy that jumps, and doesn't weigh things properly, is al Teicha, you're not going to get anything more. Even though he did tshuva, even though he did, what do you call it? But you see that somehow, I used to say a different pshat, the thing that from this thing it makes you think about it. I remember, I never saw it innovating myself, what Chaim used to say. Chaim used to say that if you meichel somebody, a friend of yours, you have to take him into the same situation as he was in before. In other words, the way you treated him before. I say, you can't do such a thing, right? And he quotes it from the big Bali Musa. I said, I never saw it. Anything in the soil, but I remember he used to say it. Or he still says it. Okay. So, what do I mean? Let's say, for instance, I had a partner or a friend, and he's telling me, we're talking business, and he says, so what are your secrets? What's your good chachma? We're not talking about real secrets. How do you get to be as big as you? And I tell it to him, but I never expect him to use it against me. Right? And then he steals my business from me. Right? He makes my kid go off the derech. My wife divorces me. I'm just giving you a marshal, let's say, where the guy stole my business and caused all these problems, right? And then he comes and asks me mechila. And, we were good friends once upon a time, and I see he really means it. I want to be meichel him. Am I going to tell him my secrets anymore? I don't trust the guy anymore. I'm meichel you. I don't want you punished because of me. But that doesn't mean I'm meichel you. I'm not going to put you in the same position that I'm going to open myself up to another time that you're going to be able to do it to me again. Right? So I said the difference in that was, and this is maybe what Yosef could have used, was the difference between mechila and slicha. On Yom Kippur, we don't bother asking for mechila. We ask for slicha. The Rebbeinu says, Salachti kidvarecha. He didn't say Machalti kidvarecha. Salachti kidvarecha. Why Salachti? Because slicha, I'm not bringing you back to the same position. I'm still angry at you. But I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to take it out on you. So that's enough that we can recover and stuff like that. What mechila means, you attack your meichel means if it never happened, but it happened. So it's laced the mark up, So therefore, it would be that way. I'm saying from here, you see that he doesn't take him back. He doesn't say you did tshuva, so now I'm going to give you. You're going to have your children, or you're going to have the kahuna and the malchus. That's not going to happen. So I can't answer you exactly, why. You lost it because you were Parshas. The midah is not there. We see they worked on the midah. They worked on the midah for all the years. The Shevet worked on the midah because you have in the Rambam brings down, if you want to change your midah, you go to K'tzei Yachad. In other words, if you're a spendthrift, you become a cheapskate. Your cheapskate become a spendthrift. And then when you more or less you're able to not be a cheapskate anymore, now slowly you come back to the middle of being a guy who understands how to spend money. In other words, but you have to go to the other extreme, otherwise it wouldn't happen. You'll always have something pulling you closer that way. Okay. That's what the Rambam says. Okay, so you see this by the Shevet Reuven. I don't know when he reached the other extreme, but we see he did reach it in the time of the Shevet. In other words, in the time of Torah, it says the Bnei Reuven and Bnei Gad had a lot of sheep, right? And then it said, who spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu? Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuven. Bnei Reuven don't speak. I don't open my mouth. I'll let God go first. I think I'm agree with him. I think I'm on his side. I think I would like what he wants, but I'm not the one that's going to make the case. That's Bnei Gad. By Dvaira, you find it's talking about coming to war against the. This is G'dayli Chikikei Lev. The Shevet Reuven so can't make up their mind that they're always in doubt. So obviously they went to the extreme, the other extreme, from being always definite of what his das is. I'll bring Beniman back. Don't kill Yosef. I mean, it's a very good thing that he hadn't had definite things there. No one argued with him too much. But the Maisa, it was when it made a thing, he didn't think it through, and therefore he moved the bed before he made the charot. So that was the mistake. Okay, so for that he lost. Shimon v'Levi Achim, they have their anger. Now their anger. So why are they the mechanchim of Klal Yisrael? I mean that should be kasha. I mean you don't want a rebbe that's an angry rebbe. So why is Shimon and Levi, who are angry people, the ones who are the mechanchim of Klal Yisrael? So I guess anger comes because you care. You're not angry coming because I'm an angry person, you're bothering me, so therefore bothering me. But it bothers me to such a degree that I'm angry and stuff like that. We need that fire in a rebbe. That thing there, and he'll make sure the kid stays on the right track. And the thing over there, it doesn't say in a parent, but in a rebbe, you need that fire. And you see though that with a rebbe and a parent, the parent can't get away with the stuff a rebbe gets away with. What do I mean? You have later on with Levi, Aahron, הכהן, who's you're the influence of Klal Yisrael, right? He was upset that the Shvatim, that Reuven Nesiim brought korbanos, and he wasn't part of it, and he wasn't even part of the wagons and the what he got. Okay, just finished learning the clear. Hanukkah, what was he upset about? About Leisros Haneros. That's what the Beniman had to tell him about Leisros Haneros, every korban needs the Kohen. Without the Kohen, you can't make the korban. So what do you drain me a cup? You're very important. You're very important. Okay. Second thing, the reason they had to bring the wagons and the oxen was to mechapa on the fact they didn't take place. They didn't participate in the Mishkan. You participated in the Mishkan, so what do you have to? You don't have to do kapara. You did it and they didn't, so that's why they brought it and you didn't bring it. What's your kasha? So I think what Pshat is that he's tiny. You made me to They just made the biggest pledge to the Torah and the biggest influence on the children's lives. They said to their kids that wherever the Torah is, we're going to make sure that there's always going to be Torah there. In other words, we're going to make sure it can travel, or we're going to rebuild it. One of the two things. So therefore, what bigger thing can I teach the kids than Torah is the most choshev zach? He says, that comes now. That you can leave up to the family to teach that. Your job is to take Aleph, Nochamol. Nochamol, say it again. And somehow the kid says it again, and he's not angry. The Rebbe made me say it 3 times today, and I'm so upset. He's not upset. That's the Rebbe's job. If you try telling him to do it 3 times, he'll tell you, nah, I had it already. I did it already. Leave me alone, stuff like that. So therefore, the parents can't get away with what the Rebbe can get away with, because he's the Rebbe. It's a different job. And you don't have to love me, with whatever it is there. But anyway, again, he told them that, in other words, that your anger should be cursed, not them. That's by Bilam. He says the Beniman didn't curse when they should have cursed them, right? Because he only cursed their anger, he didn't curse them. Okay, so Vice is you have to learn how to control your anger. Okay, fine, but we need you as angry. Then it says at the end, he gave the brachas to each one according to his bracha, right? Now, you don't find that these 3 had any other brachas. I mean, they had a kaila bracha, because everyone's bracha went on everybody. So, that's true. But so they had that. but they didn't have anything specific to them. So I heard Rabbi Yankee for the Good Convention once say that it's the biggest bracha a person can get is to know what's wrong with him. In other words, once you know what's wrong with you, you straighten that out, then everything is ahead of you. So that's what he told them. This is what's wrong with you. You guys are perfect. You got one problem, so work on the problem. And that itself is the bracha. That's what I'm saying. And that could be everyone. He's told we have to know to control without thinking, which is obviously Shivazon Begolim, you know, that you answer right away, you don't think, and stuff like that. Okay? And the same thing about anger. Yehud, on the other hand, even though he was originally part of the killing Yosef, but because he saw Reuven back off, he backed off, and he saves Yosef in the end by having him sold. So he himself was afraid that he's going to get blamed for that. He said, you knew how to handle your brothers. Now, and you find, Taki, the few times that Yehuda gets involved, by taking Binyamin down, after Reuven got yelled at, and that Reuven is not going to be successful, Yehuda approaches when the food is finished. In other words, now you need it. He knew how to wait for the right time. He knew to hit him with the thing. Doesn't say Yehuda is going to be the smartest guy, but he's going to be the guy who's going to be able to run the country the smartest way by putting the smartest guys into position on the thing. Same thing goes with the president. The president is not the smartest guy, right? And the same thing, but he picks for the secretary of state, everything else, the smartest guys he knows that want to do what he wants them to do. I mean, into that sheet, and that's what the basic of a melech. That's the keich of a melech. Okay. Then the other brachas are not necessarily understood, except more for bracha. It came to Yisachar. Yisachar, again, Targum translates it just as simply as a gashmiistic bracha. Rashi teaches it up as a ruchniistic bracha, as the bracha of what is it? Kachi daki shel Torah, like the Braisa novice. In other words, first you sacrifice, you find that it's not a sacrifice, and therefore you accept it as a way of life. And that's how he teaches it up. He's working. And it's hard, he's sacrificing over here. He saw it didn't say it was, it says he saw it was good and it was enough, so he's satisfied, right? So once he said he's satisfied, well, it's, so I can live this way, I can accept it. And that's what he did. That's what Kachi Daki Shel Torah is. Pasram al Teicha, my Masul Tishki, and the whole bit. Take something that's a sacrifice, and you'll see after a while that it's not a sacrifice. You like it, you enjoy it. Like those things I said, going out of town. It's a sacrifice. I have to sleep with other guys in the room. And I used to have a private room. Now all of a sudden I got to share it with 4 or 5 guys. The food is not my mother's food. And if I don't like the food, I don't eat that day. I go to the candy machine maybe, or to eat some bread and butter, or whatever it is there. But I don't have what my mother will make me something special because I'm not eating what she made, right? I'm not going to get that anymore. And the thing over there, and so therefore he's very unhappy. He's going out of town, Kosman, it didn't affect him yet, so he's happy. 2-3 days later, when he had the first meal, he didn't like it, so he makes a complaint already. And then I don't like it here anymore, right? He hangs in there for a couple of weeks, a month for sure, and all of a sudden, I love it here. It's what happened in that time. All of a sudden, you see, you're pretty hungry, so you learn how to eat everything. What are you doing there? If you give you food, You're tired, you sleep well at night with all the guys that you don't like in the bed that's lumpy and all that. It has no effect on you because I'm tired. And I don't mind being tired from the Torah because I love the Torah. So therefore, in the end, what am I missing? I'm not missing anything. My food, I enjoy my food, enjoy my sleep, enjoy everything. So that's the whole point. You have to sacrifice till you know it's not a sacrifice. So I said they see it even by Daf Yomi people. That a guy does a Daf Yomi, let's say early morning, 5 o'clock Daf Yomi, right? I mean, he's got to get up 4, whatever he's got to get up to, right? And one day it's Vayechi-Chazak, so he has to come back for the 11 o'clock Daf Yomi for Chazor. Okay, he does it. The next morning, he's Eismensch. He's so tired, right? So his friend asked him, what's going on? He told him yesterday. Gemara, he had to come, and they went in the morning, he had to come back at night. I didn't sleep too much last night, I'm tired. He says, so quit. What's the big deal? I mean, you're only doing it voluntarily, so quit. I can't quit, this is my life. And all of a sudden, how did we get your life? Because I do this every day. It's not part of me. I don't, it's not a sacrifice anymore, that's the point. Okay. And then he tells him to go to bury him in the just to get the old Russian. So the Ma'ora is not a machpelah, the stay is a machpelah, right? What does that mean? I don't know. That's all he says there. Anyway, yeah, and the Oras Pstei HaMachpelah, and it's called Oras Pstei HaMachpelah, okay. Anyway, but in the Bereshis it's called B'Machpelah, Hasoda Sheb'Machpelah. Okay. Anyway, they come down to Mitzrayim 70 days. He had him mummified. I don't know why he mummified him, but he mummified him, and they come down. And you cry all 40 days of the Chanutim plus the 30 days of Avelis. So 70 days they cry for him, and then they went to take him to Eretz Canaan. It says, Rashi says, so it says, so Rashi says, originally came from war. The Melech, what he called Ishmael and Melech Canaan, and he came for war. They see a big army coming up from Mitzrayim, a big group of people. They don't know what they want, right? So they're being invaded. So they came out to defend. They saw it's a funeral. They take their crowns off, and saw Yosef's crown on the bier of Ya'akov. They all take off their crowns. Why are you taking your crowns off for? Elavos, they came for war. They saw it's Levaya. And Levaya, the question was, why is Yosef's crown off? So they say, he's telling them about, then they saw who was there. I mean, I'm assuming it's Yosef, and he saved all the clothes of the people in Canaan from the hunger and all that. And he says, like, why are you putting your crown down over there? You think that the idea of sacrifice for the people, that I'm a servant of the people, is my idea. It's I learned it from my father. And therefore, by his levaya, I'm putting it down. So, the Malachim also said that. Oh, that is the true reason a person's a king. He's not a king for his own personal glory. His job is to take care of the people. That's his job. We give him the glory because he has to have the power to be able to do the job for the people. Because he can always say, I got to take from you and this and that. How are you going to have that power unless you give him power? But the idea is, it's only to serve the people. So they all took off the crown to acknowledge that is the purpose of Malchus. That was the point they think on it. And then when they came, they asked them, they didn't ask him for Mechila. That's where the Ben Bechai says that the biggest sorrow that gold came first because Yosef was never Michael, his brothers. They got along. They were able to live together, but they were not. And think about it, because my father had such a maisa, and he once wanted to make shalom between two people who had a fight. And he says to the person, say I'm Michael you. And he says, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's fine. He says, say I'm Michael you. The guy couldn't say I'm Michael you. I can live with you, I can deal with you, I can this, but I can't be Michael you. I can't make it as if it didn't exist. That's the point, and that's what he couldn't do. I can live with you, we can exist together. We have to exist with others. That's fine, we can do that. But I can't make it that I forgive you.
The Shiur used to learn that he was Michael them, he just didn't say it to pen.
He would have?
He was Michael them, he just didn't say it to pen.
Didn't say it before.
That's what the Shiur used to learn.
If it was, there would have been Mechila. I said that Ben Bechai is the one that says that.
No, so they just didn't say it to pen. They were Michael.
So what do I have to say prepare for? Mechila is believe. I don't need. Michael, you money. You have the mice in the Gemara there. What is it there? What the Baruch Safra, that is honesty, but that's not the raya. But let's say somebody, he was the guy that would dingazach with him. They came the day before, they wanted to buy something, he asked them, they told him it's too high. The next day, but he offered him lower money. Next day he came back, and he was in the middle of davening. So he started to offer him. He thought he's not answering him because he's ignoring him until he comes up with the right price. So he came up, I'm asking to give you the price you wanted. And when he finished davening, he said, no, I was asking to give you the price you wanted. And he gave it to him for the price that he wanted, not for the price that Rav Safra wanted, originally what he asked for. So there's an thing in belief, it's gone. If somebody, you loaned somebody money, he was an oni, and the guy couldn't pay you back, right? So you were Michael and believe. He never asked you, but I'm not collecting from him, I'm Michael, right? And then all of a sudden he gets his money, and he said, I want to pay you back. I was Michael you already, and then I'm not take back the money. The thing is, I don't know if that's Emerson. It was brought down by who? Well, she herself.
That was the Nikud.
That Nikud, he says differently, saying it and thinking. Okay, he says it. He says it. In the Drushes.
In the Shabbos.
Okay. I didn't hear it from him. That's what I'm saying. But they didn't ask him Mechila. They still thought they were right. They just asked him that, don't tear us. Don't hurt us. We're sorry. They're saying there, but we're not sorry because what we did. And that's, that he didn't, did he say he cried here? It didn't say over here. He cried. This is the third time he cried. 3 times he cries, and all 3 of them was they realized they did something wrong, but not enough to realize what they did wrong. So the only thing they heard him, they didn't have rachmanis on him. What do you call it? They didn't take into consideration the whole family business. That's the. And the reason he puts down Gambane Mochir, and if you say Gambane Mochir, Menashi Yodu Abirkei, I want to tell him maybe that the reason is because he's the only son of Menashe that had children. Mochir. Well, Gilad, I think, also has children, but Gilad is an Einik already. Right, so Mochir is the only one. Nevach and Yoel, they don't have children. So the continuation of the Shevet is of the Einiklach, not from the children. The children only one had children. Therefore, that's why he saw the continuation of the Shvatim, and not just he saw the kids. The kids aren't good enough. He didn't see enough. But he saw the end equal that's going to continue. He saw, and then he made sure that he made them swear. Then what was the point of him making them swear? They're going to get it. He's going to take it anyway. All the Shvatim didn't make anybody swear because my kids will take me. His kids will also take him. But he wanted that it should be a showing of unity, that you take me, that you're Michael me, that you're coming back, that you accept me to Klal Yisrael. So therefore, you're taking me, not that he's coming back with what everyone else did. And we'll have a good Shabbos, an easy fast for the rest of the day, and the Yosef Hashem have a good Shabbos, and the Yosef Hashem be good Shleima. And whatever's California's, those I'm be Shalom.